love about MagicSchool is that it has so many great resources that have already been built for me that can help me to lesson plan. So let's take a look at my 4 favorite tools that can help with lesson planning. And the first one is just the lesson planning deck itself. And so if I am building out new information, I can choose my grade level, I can choose my topic, I can go into so much information here. Again, I can even pull in specific learning standards. So for the sake of time, I'm gonna go really fast here, and I am gonna type in Monroe's motivated sequence. This is a strategy that I use when teaching persuasion to my senior dual credit speech students. And so here, I'm just gonna see what it generates. And what's nice with this tool is that I can dialogue and I can use MagicSchool as a thought partner to help me to build out a lesson. And so even just with typing a topic itself, it's giving me learning targets, it's giving me some key points here. Looking at ethos, pathos, logos, I already love that. And wow, it's giving me so much scaffolded information and questions to ask my students, independent practice. And here are so many great ideas that I can use to enhance or pair with things that I'm already doing in the classroom. I even love the teacher notes, and so it's talking about breaking down how long it could take me to teach some of this information. I have actually used this strategy, and it's so reaffirming to see things that I'm doing in my own classroom. So I do PSAs with Monroe's motivated sequence, so this is super fun. So that is just one of the great tools that I like when it comes to lesson planning. Now, if I want to think one day at a time, or if I want to think big unit, I can go to my unit planner. So here, now if I'm teaching persuasion, I'm going to literally type in just persuasion, and let's say I'm going to spend 10 days, so 2 weeks on this particular unit, and it's going to break things down step by step. Again, I love the connections to learning targets or objectives. It's giving me some key points and ideas, really breaking down ethos, pathos, logos. So just scanning this right here, I am really enjoying what I'm seeing. I'm looking at the learning standards that I'm using in my class, so that's really neat too. And it's nice to see something built out that could help me to scaffold or to create that interconnectivity between my days and my lessons. And I've been teaching this for a decade, so I have so many great resources and things that I'm already doing. In addition to looking at the plans that it's giving me, I could add my own unit plans to help dialogue and maybe find ways to enhance or supplement some of the things that I'm already doing. So I'm super impressed. I love those standards that it's pulling in. It's giving me ideas for summatives. It's giving me lots of key points. And just the overarching organization, this is such a helpful tool if you are teaching something for the first time and you're looking to understand what the day-to-day looks like. I know for me, when I have a new unit, I really struggle with creating the calendar of it all. And so a tool like MagicSchool, the unit plan generator, can really help you to start to build into that as you're going. So let's take a look at 2 more of the tools that I really like for lesson planning specifically. One is the assignment scaffolder. And so I am currently teaching a huge research project to my juniors, so I'm going to put 11th grade, and I'm going to add my iSearch assignment. So I'm going to add what I'm already doing. And by doing this is going to help me to break down the assignment because I've been teaching it for so long. I know where I want my students to go, but they haven't gone through it before. So I'm going to type in iSearch, and I'm going to look for my introduction slides. And I am going to say break down the iSearch project. And again, there's so much that I could do with the input in these different tools, and MagicSchool does a really great job of breaking down what goes in each section to encourage us as teachers to give them the best and most detailed information that they can use to help support us in creating these lessons. And so what's neat here is it gives me a bulleted list, it gives me a checklist, it gives me sentence starters, which is great to facilitate those conversations with students. And as I continue to let this develop, you can see that, look, it's breaking down my assignment, and it's so neat because it literally is taking the different cues, the different parts of my assignment that I have already outlined, giving me an idea or framework of how long it's going to take. And so you can see that it is building more and more here. And it's still thinking and loading. So look, that was really cool how they're breaking it down. I love this checklist that I can print out for my students to help them with that project. It even gives me prompts so I can continue to think about and dialogue with how I can continue to break this down for students. This is great for very diverse classrooms where you're working with different students with different needs, students that move very quickly, students that need more time and more structure, and so it's giving me some options to think about. Right, going to the last tool, this is the academic content tool. And I like this one because it is helping me not only think about the skills, but thinking about the standards that I need. So it might, if I'm looking to generate some content based on my criteria, I can tell it that I want 1 page here, and I am looking to create a speech, and I am working with Monroe's motivated sequence. So let's go back to persuasion here. I can give additional information. I can upload those different slides and resources that I've already created, which is always my favorite thing to do because I want the AI to be able to use the things that I'm using and the language that I'm presenting to my students. So, how to write a 1-page persuasive speech. What's so interesting is it's giving me examples. I really like this idea of how it's explaining how to break it down for me. This is not only helpful for me as a teacher, but it's helpful for me, or it could be helpful for me as a student if I am overwhelmed by a big concept or idea. So this resource could be something that I copy, I edit, and perhaps something I print out for students who have an accommodation to receive handwritten notes or have a printout of my notes. So look, it's creating something, a resource, a tool that I can use myself to reflect on how I'm creating the lesson plan, or it could be a tool that I print out for students who need certain accommodations for clarity and for organization purposes. So there are so many great tools in MagicSchool, but those are just my 4 favorites for lesson planning specifically. So definitely play around with these tools and let me know how you're using it in your classroom.